got my little one. That's him, my little one. And there's Billy. And here's my little one. And here's Bufo. So I got Elvis and Boxer locked in the car. With the windows down. But they can't get out. And they got their water, food in there. And that's where they're comfortable being. I'd rather go somewhere in the car with me and then stay in the car rather than be left at home. But I'm having a night where Bufo gets to be on the bed and I can give him cuddles and just give him some affection and just have my hand on him at least. I believe there's a huge thing in physical touch and affection. It heals them. But he's going to have to go tomorrow. I'm going to have to find somewhere else for him. So, this is, I just had a great discussion with John. It really helps life make sense, where, a lot of it is just coming to terms with life. And that's what it is. We just come to terms with life. The way that life is, we just come to terms with it. That's kind of as good as it gets, yeah. But there is actually this thing about that transmutation and the spiritual interrogation and conscious, subconscious contrast and all of that life actually can make sense. All these difficulties and all the challenges and all the hardship that we go through and all the setbacks, these life lessons, these soul conditions, then we kind of spend our life coming to terms with that. And there is actually a way that all those unanswered things that are always left in the too hard basket, or never get a chance to really talk about with the relevant people or anyone, you don't need to, if you've got something like the Nobbs Suzuki Praxis, which there is nothing else that I've ever seen like it. And I hope that I'm getting something across through all of this to give people at least one tool. If you take one tool from this, then you've got something that can make life make sense. I feel that's a very valuable thing, and that's what real legacy is, and all of that kind of human stuff that we make up so that we can give our lives meaning. Can we even make sense of our own lives? This has been my most challenging dog. I had another dog called Hero that I didn't have for as long as what I've had Bufo. I gave him to a family that were very special needs, and I gave him because of the woman, the mother. I knew that she was always going to keep that dog right by her side. So I gave it to her. The minute that I gave Hero to her then and to her child, my life was so much easier. That minute. And this guy, he's been a bit different, but a similar kind of thing, but just in his own way, and this guy's larger than life. I'm amazed that he's not dead, let alone how well he's doing. He came up the stairs himself, and he's here. He's a fantastic dog. And I've got this other book over here, Street Dogs. Where is it? It must be in my bag. Street Dogs, Niall, someone. It's a great book. He's talking about this dog that was the most difficult dog and teaches you the most lessons. And those most difficult dogs is actually where it started for me, by intervening with and rehabilitating a very difficult dog. But that very difficult dog, he became my best mate that I'd ever had. And then when he died suddenly, it devastated me. He wasn't even my dog. So this dog, he is the most like that dog. This one here, he is the most like that dog. I'm going to have to give him away tomorrow, because I just cannot risk that happening again, or anything like it. I really acknowledge all the time that I've pushed the boundaries way past it, but I thought because of the male dogs being so steadfast and stable in their behaviors that it was okay. And I actually allowed this kind of thing. It was actually a bit different. It was different to what occurred on Monday night, but I don't know what occurred on Monday night. Did Elvis think that Bufo was standing up to me or having a go at me? If he did, then that would explain it, but I don't know. Or was it something more about an alpha thing and him taking that opportunity to just bang it? Or was it both? Either one would explain it. Certainly both would explain it, but the thing is, I just don't know. And I don't know enough about anything to even start thinking I know anything about anything. Especially not with these guys. I understand whatever it was the way of the wolf. And that's what I'm all about. Respecting that. So you don't have to give them away tomorrow. There's also another point I'll make quickly. That, I'm living in poverty right now, and in despair, and all of that. But I make my decisions. I came back, has been said, a few things have been said in the last few days, and they are pretty frequently. And it's becoming clear. It's just the other people's perceptions of where they're at when they hear what, or they see whatever this. Because I do not blame anybody else. I do not make excuses. I do not justify. I go a lot into the detail to come to terms with things and find points of reference and how I got to this point in relation to that. But it's all my creation. I make choices. Now, I was reading this thing about Julian Assange, and I just hadn't been following it. But I remember when it first started, and with the first thing, I remember seeing that first thing, and I think this is absolutely vital that this stuff is out there. And the decisions that he made are of integrity. And he played well, and thank Christ the man's still alive. And I really hope that his mental health, I really trust that his mental health is in good, steadfast shape. He's actually a guy, really, like whatever state he's in, Nobbs Suzuki Praxis would be the best thing for him. But I come to realize there was this new Matilda article that I was reading, and I come to realize a few things about myself being a lot like that. And like, I always knew that, but I've actually just forgotten that stuff about myself in the last few years. Like, I've been a real pain in the ass to Woolworths and to Coles, Wesfarmers. Like, I've made them come into alignment with state law and federal law, and they should have already been in alignment anyway, so it doesn't matter that it cost them a few $100,000. They should have already been that way, particularly Woolworths. Woolworths is not a good company. Neither is Coles. Neither of them are good companies. But Woolworths just has this extra particular kind of evil flowing through its veins, and the cracks run so deep, and it continues because of the exploitation of the Australian public and the Australian economy. I would say that's pretty much fact. You can't prove me wrong on that, and I can certainly prove it right. But it's about your ethics, being clear about what they are, and your principles, being clear about what they are. And if you choose to have morals as well, being clear about what they are, and then the morals of the culture that you are in, being clear about what they are. And at no point do I give my personal power away to any other person, ever. Ever. I come to realize as well that an explanation, I feel, carries a lot of value for people like me because I understand all these things. However, they quite often seem to come pretty close to excuses, or certainly sound like excuses. And I realized that yesterday. I'm like, oh shit. So maybe I don't really need to explain anything, or very much at all. So yeah. This was a good dog. It's a very good dog. Alright, over now. Ciao.